Jayden. Adam Peters from the Commanders. How you doing, man? I've just been so impressed with what you've done to get yourself to where you're at right now, man. And there's so many more great things to come.
Congrats, man. How awesome is this? I've known for a long time about the ball player, but over the last 2 months, I learned about the dude.
Congrats, man. Welcome to you and your family to the DMV. I know we're going to make it happen together. I'm so appreciative that we're going to be doing this. And what a night, and you've earned it, and just celebrate. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.
Turn it in. Let's go.
All right, so that celebration is now turned into work. Rookie minicamp and now into OTAs this week for the Commanders. And the coaching staff there in Washington impressed with more than just the obvious physical talents there of Jayden Daniels, their #2 overall pick, but also with his early acclimation to the offense. And Dan Quinn excited for him to show that commitment off to his new teammates.
You can see how hard he worked to get the system down and in place, and so that was evident through the camp. And so I'm excited for everybody else to see that, you know, to see the work ethic that goes into something like this, because once you see the quarterback play and the position and the plays, see that kind of detail that he put in a short amount of time, I think it'll be pretty obvious for the guys watching.
And we welcome now Sherry Burris joining us here on NFL Total Access along with Bucky Brooks. Sherry, let's start right there with how Jayden Daniels has kind of acclimated now to this Washington Commanders franchise and what some of those early returns are on his performance here thus far.
Well, just to start off with the pun, you know, Daniels really trying to take command of this offense. We got our real first look at the 2nd overall pick today with the rookies and the vets as they started OTAs. It was kind of a gross, dreary, rainy day in Virginia and D.C., but that did not put a damper on the outlook for this young man. He is only a rookie. Been in the building a couple of days, but already winning everyone over. Today, 12-year veteran Zach Ertz said you can just tell the talent, complimenting the work he's putting in behind closed doors to be prepared. Even wide receiver Jahan Dotson, who he admitted that the two even worked out before Daniels transferred to LSU, that he wanted them to pick Daniel. So it's not just his teammates he's winning over, also the coaches. Talking today to offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury, he commented on Daniel's football IQ and just how even smarter of the game he thought he was. And he complimented just how intentional he is with everything he does. Yes, talking about on the football field, but he gave the examples of even how he studies, how he practices, how he watches film, and that driven mindset is just so encouraging, is what Cliff Kingsbury said today at the podium.
All right, Bucky, let's talk then again about the potential for Jayden Daniels in this rookie season, because you go back to the 2nd overall pick a year ago, and he lit the world on fire with his performance, talking about C.J. Stroud. Can there be a similar impact here for Jayden Daniels?
Absolutely, and I would expect it to be a very similar impact. The reason why is because Cliff Kingsbury has done this before with a young quarterback. Look no further than the work that he did with Kyler Murray when Kyler Murray came out of Oklahoma. Right away, Kyler Murray hits the ground running, wins the Offensive Rookie of the Year award, has over 3,500 pass yards, 500 rush yards, 24 total TDs. I would expect to see that kind of production and performance from Jayden Daniels. When you look at Jayden Daniels, he is an elite prospect when it comes to his arm talent and his athleticism. He can put it together, whether he's working on the script or off the script. You look at the surrounding talent around him, Terry McLaurin, Jaheim Dotson. You also see Austin Eckler coming over to give them a threat out of the backfield with Zach Ertz. There are a lot of pieces in place for Jayden Daniels to hit the ground running. I expect him to do so. This Washington team should be much better than people expect, and a lot of it is going to be due to the man that's at the controls in Jayden Daniels.
Yeah, certainly. Always intriguing to watch how that player at quarterback interacts with the playmakers around him and, of course, the play caller in Cliff Kingsbury. Let's take a look at where the Commanders will play this year, who they will play. Of course, obviously, you know the division opponents, but we'll also have some marquee matchups both home and away. Got a big one there in the DMV with the Ravens. That'll be in Baltimore. They are, of course, taking on the NFC South division here this year. Bucks, Panthers, Saints among their opponents, as in the AFC North, which is a tough one as well in that rotating divisional schedule. What stands out to you, Sherry, about those opponents?
Well, just right off the bat, it is that Ravens game because we're so close, but I didn't really feel like I needed to overthink this, Rhett.
Yeah.
It is clearly the games against the Cowboys. As someone who lives here in the DMV area, there is one priority when it comes to football, and it is always beating the Dallas Cowboys. So this is personal for the fans. And now head coach Dan Quinn, who was just the defensive coordinator there in Dallas, will be coaching against his former team. A little personal for him, too. So I'm really interested to see what his reaction and his reception will be when they get to the Star. And I mean, the NFC East, it feels like, is always kind of a toss-up. So going up against the Cowboys, maybe now the Commanders can be on top. Bucky, we're going to have to find out.
Yeah, look, Sherry, I love the fact that you brought up an NFC East rival because I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles in this conversation. And one of the reasons is, obviously, yes, it's a division rival. But another reason is this is an opportunity for the Commanders to use the Eagles as a measuring stick. 2 years ago, the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. Last year, they were a team that started out 10-1. So if you're the Commanders and you're trying to be one of those teams that we talk about in the postseason, well, how do we perform against what is deemed to be one of the best teams in the NFC? If we can go toe-to-toe with the Eagles, we're going to be right on track to be the team that we want to be at the end of the season. It is a huge game, not only for the division implications, but for the confidence that can come out of this for the team. You want to build that swagger. You want to have all of that stuff feeling good about the team. You knock out the Philadelphia Eagles. Then Dan Quinn has a lot of stuff that he can say in the locker room to get this team going to the next level.